Like, comment, and subscribe.
The Thakur Well, a story of thirst, injustice and courage, by Munshi Premchand. Vertical bar expanded English adaptation. It was the peak of summer in the village. The sun beat down like fire. The earth cracked under its own heat. Trees stood dry and bare, and rivers shrank into sad patches of dust. In the midst of this merciless weather, a cruel, invisible fire burned even stronger. Untouchability. In that fire was trapped a woman named Gangi, a lower caste villager, helpless, yet silently defiant. Gangi belonged to the Shamar community, considered untouchable by the upper caste. Her husband, Jokhu, was burning with fever. His lips were dry, his body trembling with weakness.
Gangi, just one sip of water, please.
Gangi's heart ached. She looked around their home. Not a single drop of water remained. Their own community well had dried up weeks ago. The only nearby well was the Thakur Well, full of cool, fresh water. But they were not allowed to touch it. The Thakurs believed that if an untouchable drew water from their well, it would be polluted. She wiped Jokhu's sweat with trembling hands and went inside. The earthen pot sat dry in a dark corner as if mocking her. Night fell. The village slept. The roofs were lined with people trying to escape the heat. But Gangi could not sleep. Her ears filled with her husband's soft cries for water. Over and over. She paced the floor. Her mind was torn between fear and desperation. Should I go? What if someone sees me? She knew the Thakurs could beat her or worse, but how could she sit idle and watch her husband die of thirst? Gangi rose. She wrapped a tattered cloth around herself, took the clay pot, and stepped into the night. Her feet, clad in broken slippers, trembled with each step. Yet her eyes were steady, full of quiet resolve. The moon hung low. Crickets chirped in the silence. The path was narrow and lined with thorns, but her heart burned with only one prayer. Is water not made by God for all? Are Thakurs the only humans? Her steps were hesitant, but her soul walked firm. She reached the Thakur's well. It stood grand and tall under the moonlight, its pulley wrapped around with ropes used only by the upper castes. She looked around. The village was asleep. Holding her breath, she tied the pot to the rope and slowly began to lower it into the water. The pulley creaked. Her hands shook.
Just then, the voice rang out. Who's there?
Gangi's heart stopped. Her hands slipped. The pot banged against the stone wall of the well and shattered. She didn't wait. She ran. Her slippers tore, thorns pierced her feet, but fear gave her wings. She reached home. Her pot was broken. Her hands were empty. Her husband still lay there, burning, thirsty. But her face was strangely calm. She had failed. Yet, she had tried. She had challenged the unjust system, alone, in the dark, with nothing but love in her heart. Thakur Kuwan is not just a tale about fetching water. It is about invisible walls, dehumanization, and a woman's quiet rebellion. Gangi is not just fighting thirst. She is confronting a society that denies her even the right to exist with dignity. She doesn't win, but she wakes up. And sometimes, awakening is the first step to revolution.